Aquarius, stop, do not scroll, the cards just flipped, and I need you to hear this before August 13th, 2026 closes its window on you. A doctor, whether that is a literal healer, specialist, or a divine hand disguised in human form, has discovered something in your chart, in your body, in your energetic blueprint that changes everything. A medical miracle, a freeing, a release from something you have been carrying so long you forgot it was not yours. But here is the twist that made my hands tremble while pulling these cards. This miracle was not supposed to reach you yet. Someone tried to delay it, and the reason they tried will shock you. Before I reveal who, and before I show you the exact card that confirmed this, tell me in the comments where you are watching from right now. Drop your country, drop your city. Let the universe see you claiming this healing in real time. And if this found you, hit subscribe on Trusted Tarot, because what is coming for you next will not wait. Aquarius, listen to me very carefully. I need you to breathe right now. One slow breath in through your nose, hold it, and release. Because what I am about to say to you is not general. This is not a broadcast. This is not content. The moment your thumb paused on this video, the moment your eyes locked onto that title, something in your spirit said yes. Your higher self recognized the frequency before your conscious mind could process the words. You did not click this by accident. You were pulled. Your energy field, your guides, the ancestors who watch over your bloodline, they arranged this intersection. 13 August 2026. This date is not random. This is a gateway, and you are standing at its threshold whether you realize it or not. And I need you to understand something before we go deeper. The word miracle in this reading is not small. It is not a gentle improvement. It is not a slight shift. The cards that came forward for you today speak of a complete severing. A chain you did not even know was still attached to your body, to your nervous system, to your sense of self, is being cut. Cleanly, surgically. And the one performing this cutting, the one the cards call the doctor, is not necessarily who you think. It might be a literal physician who is about to deliver news that undoes months or years of fear. It might be a healer, a therapist, a spiritual practitioner who says one sentence in one session and something in your chest finally unlocks. Or it might be the universe itself, acting as its own surgeon, removing a growth you mistook for your identity. Whatever form it takes. Aquarius, it is freeing you, completely, totally, irrevocably. But here is where I need you to stay with me. Here is where I need you to resist the urge to close this video and think, okay, that sounds nice, and move on. Because the cards are showing me layers beneath this miracle. They are showing me that this healing did not arrive in a vacuum. Someone is involved. Someone whose internal world has been in quiet, agonizing revolution for weeks now. And what they are realizing about you, about what they did, about what they withheld, is the hidden engine behind why this miracle is arriving precisely now. The timing is not coincidence. Their reckoning unlocked your door, and I will tell you exactly what they are feeling, what they are preparing to say, what regret is burning through them at 3 in the morning when they cannot sleep. But not yet. You need the foundation first. You need to understand what was taken from you before I can show you how it is being returned. So let me paint the picture of where you have been. Because I see you, Aquarius. I see the exhaustion you have been masking with that calm, detached, intellectual smile. I see how you have been carrying a heaviness in your body, tightness in your jaw, pressure behind your eyes that you keep telling yourself is just stress, just overthinking, just the way the world is right now. But it is not just that, is it? There has been something specific. A diagnosis you feared, a result you kept delaying, a body that felt like it was betraying you while your mind tried to rationalize every symptom away. Or perhaps it was not medical in the clinical sense. Perhaps it was an emotional diagnosis. A truth about a relationship, about your worth, about whether you would ever be chosen fully, that settled into your cells like a slow poison. And you adapted to it, you normalized it. You told yourself this is just how life is for me now. The cards say no. The cards say that was never your final chapter. And the doctor, the healer, the force that is intervening now, has looked at your situation and said, this does not stand. This is not the verdict. There is something else here. There is a pathway we missed. There is a treatment, truth, revelation that undoes the sentence you were given. And Aquarius, the relief that is coming when you hear it, when you truly receive it, is going to feel like breathing for the first time in months, like surfacing. Like someone removing a hand from your throat that you had forgotten was there. Now, the other person. Because there is always another person in these readings, even when the miracle feels solitary. The cards show me someone who has been watching you suffer and saying nothing. Someone who knew more than they let on. Someone who had a piece of information, truth, resource, a connection that could have helped you sooner, but they held it back. Not out of malice, not out of cruelty, but out of their own fear, their own confusion, their own unresolved wound that made them freeze when you needed them to move. And Aquarius, this person is in the middle of a private collapse right now. They are sitting with the weight of their silence. They are replaying moments. They are thinking about a conversation they walked away from, a message they typed and deleted, a phone call they let ring out, and the guilt is not loud and dramatic. It is quiet. It is a slow ache behind their ribs. It is them staring at your name in their phone at 2 in the morning, thumb hovering, unable to press call because they do not know how to begin. But they are about to begin. The cards are clear on this. Something in the next few days, before August 13th fully closes its energy, is going to shift their paralysis. A dream, a conversation with a stranger, a sign they cannot ignore, and they will reach, they will speak. They will hand you the missing piece. And when they do, the miracle completes itself. Because the doctor's discovery is only half the medicine. The other half is the truth this person has been carrying for you, and I know you want to know who it is right now. I know your mind is racing through names, faces, conversations, but I need you to hold that curiosity gently for one more moment. Because if I give you the name before you understand the wound, you will react from the old painches you will armor up. You will receive their words through the filter of every time you were abandoned, overlooked, or minimized. And this message, this healing, this miracle requires you to receive it with open hands, not clenched fists, not crossed arms, open, soft, willing to be surprised, willing to be wrong about what you thought was final. So before I continue, Aquarius, I am going to ask you something. If this reading is resonating, if something in your body just softened, if your breath just deepened, if you felt a small yes somewhere in your chest, I need you to subscribe to Trusted Tarot right now. Not because I need the number, because you need a space where your spirit can return, where your guides can keep speaking to you, where you are not alone in this unfolding. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, make this a covenant with your own healing. And if someone in your life, friend, sister, fellow Aquarius, needs to hear this tonight, share this with them. Be the hand that passes the medicine along, because the universe used you to find this message, and now it may use you to deliver it to someone else who is still suffocating in silence. Aquarius, I need to give you a very specific warning right now. This is the part of the reading where I have to protect your energy, because the universe is about to hand you a gift, and your human conditioning might try to reject it. When this freedom arrives, when the doctor hands you the clear test results, when the contract is finally dissolved, when that person reaches out and says the words you have been starving to hear, your brilliant, analytical, beautiful Aquarian mind is going to try to hijack the moment. You are going to try to intellectualize the miracle. You are going to look for the catch. You are going to zoom out and analyze the logistics instead of dropping in and feeling the relief. I am telling you right now, do not let old pain distort this new message. Do not let the ghost of every time you were disappointed stand between you and this blessing. When the good news comes, do not cross your arms. Do not brace for impact. Receive it clearly, not defensively. You have spent so long surviving in the trenches that peace is going to feel suspicious at first. Let it feel suspicious, but do not act on that suspicion. Pause before you react. Let the words land. Let the paper sit on the table. Let the silence hold you. And you will know this energetic surgery is happening because your body is already reacting to it. The cards are showing me intense somatic signs around you right now. You have been waking up suddenly between 3 and 4 in the morning, heart beating a little faster, mind racing with thoughts that do not quite make sense. You might have been experiencing a sudden sharp ringing in your left ear, or a strange fluttering sensation right at the base of your throat. Some of you have felt a sudden drop in temperature, or a wave of heat moving up your spine when no one else in the room felt it. These are not random misfires of your nervous system. These are the physical markers of the medical miracle taking root. This is the feeling of heavy, stagnant energy being physically pulled out of your cellular memory. The doctor, the universe, the divine hand is doing the work right now, in the unseen realms, and your physical body is simply reporting the shift. Honor those signs. When you feel the chills, say thank you. When you wake up in the night, whisper that you are ready to receive. This freeing, this complete release that the cards are promising you, applies to every area of your life where you have been misdiagnosed. In love, you were told that your need for space meant you were incapable of deep intimacy. That was a false diagnosis. The miracle is the realization, perhaps delivered by a partner who finally understands you, or by your own sudden clarity, that your depth is vast and you simply require a different kind of vessel. In your career and your finances, you were told that this struggle, this grinding exhaustion, this feeling of running on a treadmill that leads nowhere, was just the price of admission for your life. That was a false diagnosis. The doctor in this scenario might be a mentor, sudden layoff that feels like a disaster but is actually a rescue, or a new financial opportunity that completely restructures your reality. The miracle is the sudden, undeniable proof that you were never meant to carry that weight. You were never meant to shrink your vision to fit into a box that was built for someone else's comfort. And this brings us to the timing. Why is this happening now? Why August 13th, 2026? You might look at the calendar and think it is just another day. But in the spiritual realms, this date is vibrating with a frequency of absolute culmination. The Lion's Gate portal energy has just peaked and is now integrating into the earth, and you, Aquarius, have been doing the quiet, invisible work of the shadow. You thought you were just going through the motions. You thought you were just surviving the days. But energetically, you were incubating. You were sitting in the silence, allowing the old narratives to starve. You stopped arguing with people who were committed to misunderstanding you. You stopped trying to force doors open that were locked from the inside. That surrender was not weakness. It was the exact energetic requirement for this miracle to manifest. The universe cannot hand you a completely new reality while your hands are still desperately gripping the shards of the old one. You let go. And because you let go, the doctor could step inches the divine window open precisely because you stopped trying to climb through the wall. I want to pause here for a moment, Aquarius, and just be in this space with you. If you are feeling a shift in your chest, if you are feeling a sudden urge to cry, or if you just feel a profound sense of being seen, I want you to anchor this energy right now. This is the midpoint of our journey together, and it is a powerful moment to make a commitment to your own evolution. I invite you to stay with me, to join the community of trusted tarot, not just as a viewer, but as an active participant in your own healing. Claim this energy in the comments below. Type the words "I am free." Let those words be a digital spell, physical manifestation of the internal shift you are making. When you type it, you are signaling to the algorithm, yes, but more importantly, you are signaling to your own subconscious that you accept this new reality. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so that when the next phase of this journey begins, you have a trusted space to return to. We are building a sanctuary here, place where your spirit is always recognized and honored. You have been so incredibly tired, haven't you? I see the exhaustion that hides behind your eyes. I see how you have been carrying the emotional load for everyone else, how you have been the strong one, the objective one, the one who figures it out while everyone else falls apart. And in doing so, you forgot to ask who was going to figure it out for you. You forgot that you, too, are allowed to be healed. You are allowed to be the one who receives the good news. You are allowed to put down the heavy armor and just breathe. The miracle that is arriving is not just a change in circumstance, it is a permission slip to finally rest. The doctor is not just treating a symptom, the universe is treating your soul's deepest exhaustion. So, as we prepare to move into the final layer of this reading, where I will reveal the exact outcome tease and the final piece of the puzzle regarding the other person, I need you to drop your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Take a deep breath into your belly. You are safe here. The waiting is over. The diagnosis was wrong. The miracle is real. Aquarius, let us walk into the realm of your sleep, because the cards are showing me that your subconscious mind has been working overtime, trying to prepare you for this medical miracle. You have been having dreams that feel incredibly vivid, almost cinematic, leaving you exhausted when you wake up. Some of you have been dreaming of water, not chaotic, stormy oceans, but deep, still, subterranean pools. You are diving into them, looking for something you lost, and suddenly you realize you do not need to hold your breath anymore. You can breathe underwater. That is your spirit's way of telling you that the environment that was suffocating you is about to change. Others of you have been dreaming of houses. Specifically, you are walking through a massive, sprawling ancestral home, opening doors that have been locked for decades and finding them completely empty. The furniture is gone. The dust is cleared. This is the psychological architecture of your healing. Your subconscious is already evicting the old trauma, making space for the miracle. And then there is the recurring symbol of the physician, a figure in white, or perhaps a guide with no face, who hands you a glowing object, or simply touches your chest and says, "It is done." When you wake from these dreams, you might feel a profound sense of grief mixed with intense relief. That is the somatic release. That is the surgery completing itself in the astral realm before it manifests in the physical. Now, we must return to the other person, the one whose internal reckoning is the hidden key to your physical and emotional freedom. I need you to understand the exact nature of their silence, because until you do, you will assume they did not care. And that assumption will block your miracle. The cards reveal a profound, almost tragic irony here. They did not withhold the truth, the help, or the apology because they wanted to see you suffer. They withheld it because they were terrified of your power. They saw the magnitude of who you are, the brilliance of your Aquarian mind, the depth of your soul, and they realized that if they handed you this missing piece, if they gave you this cure, you would no longer need them in the way they wanted to be needed. They thought that keeping you slightly unwell, slightly confused, slightly dependent on their breadcrumbs of affection or information, was the only way to keep you tethered to them. It was a control mechanism born of deep, unhealed insecurity. But Aquarius, the universe does not allow that kind of energetic theft to continue indefinitely. And right now, in the days leading up to August 13th, 2026, their strategy has completely collapsed. The guilt has metastasized. They are lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, realizing that by trying to keep you small, they have actually poisoned their own connection to you. They are experiencing a terrifying clarity. They are looking at their own behavior and feeling a deep, nauseating shame. They are realizing that true love, true connection, requires freedom, not captivity. And this realization is breaking them open. The cards show me them sitting with their phone in their hand, typing out a message, deleting it, typing it again. They are rehearsing the words. They are preparing to confess. They are preparing to hand over the keys to your cage, not because they want to, but because their soul is demanding. They make it right before it is too late. When this message arrives, and it will arrive, I need you to remember the warning I gave you earlier. Do not let your Aquarian detachment turn into a fortress. It is so easy for you to read a deeply emotional, vulnerable text from them and respond with a cool, detached, one-word answer. Do not do that. This is your healing. This is the final piece of the medical miracle. The doctor has done the spiritual surgery, but this person is bringing the physical sutures. Let yourself feel the hope. Let yourself feel the anticipation. It is safe to want this. It is safe to be excited. You have spent so much of your life being the objective observer, the one who analyzes the emotions of others while keeping your own locked away in a glass jar. Shatter the jar, Aquarius. Let the water flow. Let the hope wash over you. Because when you finally accept this freedom, when you integrate the doctor's miracle and receive this person's truth, the outcome is going to be staggering. The cards are teasing an absolute explosion of forward momentum. The energy that was trapped in your survival mode, the energy you were using just to keep your head above water, is suddenly going to be redirected into your creation. This is where the financial breakthroughs come inches. This is where the career suddenly accelerates. This is where love finds you, not as a rescue mission, but as a partnership of equals. The vacuum created by the removal of your pain will be instantly filled with abundance. You will look back at August 13th, 2026, as the exact moment the timeline split, the before and the after. I want you to feel the absolute certainty of this right now. You are not crazy for feeling like you were on the verge of a breakthrough. You are not delusional for believing that something massive was about to shift. Your intuition has been spot on. The exhaustion you feel is just the heavy lifting coming to an end. You are safe. You are held. You are deeply, profoundly loved by the universe. Aquarius, we are now standing at the final door of this reading, and the energy here is so bright it almost hums. The cards around this outcome are not whispering anymore. They are announcing. They are saying that the miracle the doctor discovered is not just a possibility floating somewhere in the future. It is already moving toward you with intention, with intelligence, with divine coordination. Whatever has been misdiagnosed in your life, whatever has been labeled impossible, chronic, permanent, or final, is being reviewed by a higher authority, and that higher authority is ruling in your favor. I need you to hear that clearly. The verdict is being overturned. The sentence that was placed on your body, your heart, your finances, your future, does not hold. The evidence of your healing has been found, and it is being released to you now. This miracle may arrive in a very practical form. It could be a phone call that changes the entire direction of your week. It could be a message, an email, document, test result, conversation with someone who suddenly sees what others missed. It could be an appointment, referral, second opinion, or a piece of information that unlocks a door you had stopped knocking on. For some of you, it will not come through a hospital or an office at all. It will come through a moment of sudden inner clarity, where you finally understand what has been happening to you. And that understanding instantly removes the power it had over you. The form does not matter as much as the frequency. The frequency is release. The frequency is truth. The frequency is your life finally being allowed to move again. But here is the emotional turn I need to prepare you for. When the blessing arrives, part of you may hesitate. Part of you may look at it and say, "Are you sure this is for me?" After everything I have carried, after every time I prepared myself for disappointment, is it really safe to believe this? Aquarius, do not argue with the miracle. Do not send it back because it feels unfamiliar. Healing can feel strange when you have been in survival mode for so long. Freedom can feel almost uncomfortable when your nervous system has memorized restriction. If joy arrives and your first instinct is to brace yourself, gently tell yourself that you are allowed to receive. You do not have to earn this. You do not have to overthink it. You only have to let it land, in love and relationships. This reading is especially tender. There has been a false story told about your heart. Maybe someone made you feel too distant, too independent, too complicated, too hard to hold. Maybe you began to believe that love would always require you to shrink, to perform, to explain yourself endlessly just to be chosen. That story is being medically, spiritually, emotionally corrected. The person connected to this reading is beginning to see you differently. Not as someone to manage, not as someone to keep at arm's length, not as someone to return to only when it is convenient. They are seeing you as someone rare, someone worth telling the truth to, someone worth becoming brave for if they reach out. Their words may not be perfect, their delivery may be clumsy, but the heart behind it will be trying to say, "I see you now. I understand what I withheld. I am ready to give you what is yours." For those of you who are single, do not mistake this message as only being about the past. The miracle may be the removal of an internal block that has kept love circling above you without landing. Once the false diagnosis is cleared, once your spirit stops carrying the old wound as identity, a new connection can enter with a different quality. Not chaotic, not confusing, not a repetition of the same painful lesson. This new energy comes with clarity. It comes with consistency. It comes with someone who is not intimidated by your brilliance, but inspired by it. The miracle is not just that love comes. The miracle is that you can finally receive it without translating it into danger. In money and career, the same healing is active. There may have been a period where you felt blocked, overlooked, underpaid, or trapped in a role that drained your spirit. You may have believed that stability was only available through sacrifice, that abundance required you to abandon your authenticity, or that your gifts were too unusual for the world to reward. The cards say that diagnosis is false. A gatekeeper is about to see your file differently. A resource is about to be released. A conversation is about to open a path that seemed closed. This could come through a person who remembers your value, an unexpected opportunity, financial adjustment, or a sudden idea that aligns your income with your purpose. The miracle is not just more money. The miracle is the removal of the fear that kept you small. Your body and spirit are confirming all of this. Aquarius, pay attention to the signs in the next few days. You may suddenly feel lighter, as if a backpack you forgot you were wearing has been lifted off your shoulders. You may feel emotional during ordinary moments, while washing dishes, while driving, while hearing a song that seems to speak directly to your heart. You may dream of leaving, building, receiving a clean result, finding a lost object holding key, or walking into sunlight after being somewhere dark. These are not random. These are your subconscious receiving the discharge papers. Your spirit is being told, the procedure is complete. You are being freed, you are being restored. You are being returned to yourself. The timing around August 13th, 2026 is sacred because it marks the moment your inner work becomes visible. You did not suffer for no reason. You did not pray into emptiness. You did not endure all those silent nights just to be forgotten at the finish line. The silence was not absence. It was preparation. The universe was rearranging people, circumstances, truths, and timing so that when this miracle arrived, it would not be partial, it would be complete. It would not only touch one area of your life, it would ripple into your body, your relationships, your finances, your career, and your sense of spiritual belonging. This is why it had to happen now. You are ready to carry it without collapsing. You are ready to receive it without running. So take a deep breath, Aquarius. Let this reading settle into your bones. You are not too late. You are not broken. You are not being punished. You are being freed. The doctor, the guide, the divine hand, the universe itself has looked at your situation and declared that there is a way through. And because there is a way through, you will walk it. The chains are not just loosening, they are falling. The story is not just changing, it is being rewritten. And the next chapter carries hope so real you will be able to touch it. Before you leave this space, I need you to do one thing. Go to the comments and write one word. Free. Write it as your claim. Write it as your agreement. Write it as a signature on your own healing. Then subscribe to Trusted Tarot if this reading found you at the exact moment you needed it, because your spirit will want to return here when the next message arrives. And if someone came to your mind while you were listening, share this with them. Sometimes the universe uses one person's courage to deliver another person's miracle. You are free, Aquarius. Receive it, walk in it, and do not let anyone convince you otherwise.